Have you ever imagined growing flowers while still earning money from farming? Sounds unusual, right? But in today's video, we'll take you to explore a remarkably unique dual agriculture model, where vibrant water lilies bloom across the pond's surface, and below, specialty apple snails thrive naturally, generating millions in income per harvest for farmers. So, what exactly is this model? Why is it considered a new direction for ecological agriculture? Let's dive in and find out now. We're here in a tranquil rural area of the Mekong Delta, where seemingly idle ponds are transformed into highly efficient cultivation sites thanks to the dual model of growing water lilies and raising apple snails. This approach isn't new, but it's gaining increasing attention due to its low cost, minimal risk, and stable profits. Farmers typically select healthy water lily varieties, planting them using tubers or shoots separated from the mother plant. The tubers or shoots are inserted deep into soft mud and water about 30–50 centimeters deep. The plants thrive with ample sunlight and clean water. Within just a few weeks, leaves and flowers emerge on the water's surface. Planting at an appropriate density prevents shading. Farmers regularly trim old leaves to ensure consistent flowering. Besides their ornamental value in flower harvest, water lilies serve as a specialty vegetable, purify the water, cool the pond, and provide shade for the snail breeding environment. During harvest season, water lily stems, measuring 1 to 1.5 meters long, clean of mud and fresh, are gathered into bundles and neatly arranged on boats or along the pond's edge. These tender, pristine white stems are a prized ingredient for iconic Mekong Delta dishes like water lily stem salad, sour soup, or eaten raw with fermented fish paste. Alongside the water lilies are black apple snails, a high-value species considered a delicacy in restaurants. Unlike the destructive golden apple snails that harm crops, these gentle black snails don't feed on living plants. They primarily consume decayed leaves, water hyacinth, or rice bran, are easy to raise, and require minimal care. The price of black apple snail juveniles on the market is currently based on a density of about 32,000–36,000 juveniles per kilogram. Prices range from 150,000 to 200,000 VND per kilogram, depending on quality and supplier. Farmers typically choose to purchase juveniles from reputable farms to ensure healthy genetics and high survival rates, enhancing efficiency in the combined water lily and snail farming model. The snails are stocked at a density of about 3–5 per square meter. After 5–6 months, each snail reaches a weight of 40–50 grams and can be sold at 50,000–80,000 VND per kilogram. A small 300 square meters pond can generate an income of 30–40 million VND per harvest. To create an ideal habitat for black apple snails and water lilies, farmers need to consider several technical factors. The pond's water level should be maintained steadily at 30–50 centimeters, sufficient for water lilies to thrive and suitable for snail growth. Additionally, regular checks of the water's pH, kept between 6.5, 7.5, are essential to ensure biological stability in the pond. In addition to raising snails and growing water lilies, many households also stock climbing perch fish. These fish are easy to raise, thrive in still water, and don't compete for food with snails, making them ideal for co-culture. After 3-4 months, the fish can be sold at 80,000, 120,000 VND per kilogram, providing extra income with minimal additional costs for farmers. When harvest time arrives, collecting black apple snails is remarkably straightforward. Due to their habit of hiding beneath water lily leaves or water hyacinth, farmers simply need to gently lift the foliage to find the snails clinging underneath. This model isn't limited to the Mekong Delta. It's being tested in various provinces like Quang Ngai, Thua Thien Hue, Bac Giang, and more. Farmers can utilize low-lying fields, stagnant ponds, or natural lakes to develop this system. That's a wrap for today's video. What are your thoughts? Drop plenty of comments below to let us know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. For now, goodbye and see you in the next videos. Can you believe it? The most efficient lawnmowers in million-dollar vineyards are none other than sheep. No need for harmful chemicals. No weekly labor costs for mowing. And absolutely no damage to the environment. Right now, we'll dive into how flocks of sheep are transforming the wine and vineyard industry with a brilliantly simple farming strategy: biological grazing among the rows of vines. In major wine-growing regions like California, Marlborough, and South Australia, vineyards spanning hundreds of thousands of hectares are renowned for producing world-class wines. However, in recent years, these farms have faced a persistent problem: herbicide-resistant weeds. Chemicals are no longer effective, labor costs are soaring, and the environment is suffering. In this context, farms have turned back to nature, introducing sheep into the vineyards. In Marlborough, New Zealand's capital of Sauvignon Blanc white wine, over 10,000 hectares of vineyards are using this technique to control weeds. No longer reliant on herbicides, farmers now save approximately $300 per hectare annually, reducing costs while contributing to environmental protection. So, why are sheep chosen over other livestock? In reality, sheep are selected because of their low grazing habits. They primarily nibble grass close to the ground and rarely reach up to eat vine leaves or tender shoots. In contrast, while goats also graze grass, they prefer leaves, bark, young shoots, and can even climb to reach grapes. Goats are too voracious and thus unsuitable for the tightly controlled environment of vineyards. The ideal time to release sheep into vineyards is during winter and spring, when grapevines are bare of leaves or tender shoots. In winter, sheep can graze on grass without harming the vines, while in spring, they continue to clear weeds before the vines begin to grow. Beyond weed control, one of the major benefits of this method is sheep manure, which enriches the soil. Sheep manure is rich in organic matter and essential nutrients for grapevine growth. You may not know this, but sheep manure can increase soil organic matter by 25% after a single grazing season, improving soil structure and fertility. As a result, not only are weeds managed, but the soil also becomes more nutrient-rich, supporting healthier vine growth. However, more sheep doesn't always mean better. Calculating the right density is crucial. If too many sheep are grazed, the soil becomes compacted, loses nutrients, and vines can be damaged. Conversely, if too few sheep are used, weeds won't be effectively controlled. Based on experience from farms in California, the ideal average density is 10–12 sheep per hectare, depending on the amount of weeds and the season. Notably, when using this method, you must be cautious, as sheep can carry pathogens and parasites. Therefore, regular health checks and vaccinations are essential to protect both the flock and the vineyard from potential disease spread. During the summer, when grapevines begin to sprout leaves and fruit, sheep can harm crops if not properly managed. As a result, during this period, sheep are often moved to other areas or kept under stricter supervision. From a method that once seemed unlikely to succeed, this has now become a smart, sustainable, and economically valuable strategy. If you're looking for an environmentally friendly way to manage weeds, boost profits, and reduce risks, the biological grazing with sheep in vineyards model is a direction worth investing in and exploring. Can you believe it? In the tranquil waterways of this region, locals are reaping profits from a remarkably unique method, combining coconut cultivation with fish farming, yielding substantial economic benefits. This isn't just an innovative idea, it's a practical model transforming lives day by day. So, how exactly is this method implemented, and how does it generate such impressive profits? Join us as we uncover all the details in today's video. This model is being applied in several provinces in Vietnam's Mekong Delta. Locals have cleverly transformed garden ditches into fish ponds while planting rows of coconut trees along both banks. Each day, they can tend to their orchards and raise fish efficiently within the same space. The ditches, originally used solely for garden drainage, have now become ideal spots for raising tilapia, catfish, or snakehead fish, depending on each household's conditions. The fish grow quickly in a clean environment, shaded by rows of coconut trees and regularly tended to. Without needing to invest in separate ponds, farmers can still harvest tons of fish per season. Additionally, the ditches situated between rows of coconut trees are less exposed to intense sunlight, keeping the water cool and reducing the risk of fish suffering from heat shock. The fish grow naturally without requiring much medication or growth-enhancing feed, significantly lowering costs. This innovative approach brings practical benefits in terms of investment costs and cultivation space for farmers. Coconut trees adapt well to hot climates and sandy soils, especially along ditch banks, producing fruit consistently year-round. Meanwhile, the shaded, cool water surface beneath the coconut canopy is ideal for raising fish like tilapia, giant gourmet, or snakehead, significantly reducing the land needed for farming. Beyond boosting economic efficiency, combining coconut cultivation with fish farming significantly reduces negative environmental impacts. Byproducts from coconut trees, such as old fronds, dried leaves, or straw, can be repurposed as organic fertilizer, promoting healthy tree growth without the need for chemical fertilizers. Meanwhile, the fish raised in the ditches help maintain water quality by controlling insects and algae, creating a closed-loop, eco-friendly ecosystem. Additionally, the ditches dug along the rows of coconut trees not only facilitate irrigation but also serve as fish ponds. The water in the ditches maintains stable moisture for the tree roots while providing a habitat for the fish. Meanwhile, fish waste and fallen leaves become natural nutrients for the soil. This combination maximizes space utilization, reduces labor, lowers operational costs, and generates dual income streams. Fish provide immediate profits, while coconuts yield long-term returns. Some households have also installed water pipe systems to channel water from the ditches to fish ponds or nearby rivers, ensuring a constant refresh of water flow. This keeps the fish healthy and less prone to disease while providing the coconut trees with consistent natural moisture. Together, these elements form a balanced, flexible, and sustainable agricultural ecosystem. Additionally, this model showcases clear convenience and scientific precision in its management. Thanks to the spacious ditch design, farmers can easily navigate by boat to perform daily tasks. Equipped with a small bucket or an automatic sprayer mounted on the boat, they can directly water each coconut tree along both banks. The neatly aligned coconut trees, with deep roots and lush green leaves, thrive thanks to the cool water from the fish-rearing environment. During the same trip, farmers can also monitor the condition of their fish, checking water color, clarity, and foam to assess the health of the pond. If needed, they can feed the fish while passing through. Thus, with a single boat trip, 3 tasks, watering trees, feeding fish, and inspecting the ditch, are completed efficiently and effortlessly. This seamless integration of tasks not only saves significant time and effort but also reduces labor costs. In the context of modern agriculture, which prioritizes efficiency and sustainability, this is a key factor making the coconut and fish ditch model a path to quick wealth. The success isn't just due to high output but also the smart, cost-effective approach that maximizes available resources. The coconut and fish farming model is no longer an experiment. It's paving the way for a smart, sustainable approach for farmers amid rising input costs. When nature and human ingenuity work together effectively, the results exceed expectations. In a world where food safety is becoming an increasingly urgent concern, South Korea, a country known for its strict hygiene standards and advanced technology, is leading the way in building some of the cleanest and most modern food processing plants on the planet. Today, let's take a step inside one of South Korea's most advanced pork processing factories, where every step from slaughtering, butchering, and processing to packaging takes place in a spotless, closed-loop system, controlled down to the tiniest detail. And perhaps, you'll be amazed to discover that the delicious piece of grilled pork belly on your plate was made this way. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs of South Korea, each Korean consumes an average of 27-30 kilograms of pork per year, more than beef or chicken. Among pork products, pork belly, the nation's favorite barbecue cut, accounts for nearly 60% of total pork consumption in the country. In major cities like Seoul, Busan, and Daegu, nearly every street has at least one barbecue restaurant. For Koreans, eating grilled pork is more than a meal, it's a tradition. It happens during holidays, on dates, company gatherings, birthdays, or simply as a way to unwind after a long day at work. With such massive demand, Korea's pork farming and processing industry has seen heavy investment, ensuring products are not only safe and efficient but also exceptionally fresh from farm to table. As you can see, inside these factories, biosecurity starts right at the door, almost to a perfect degree. Before entering the production line, every employee must undergo thorough disinfection, changing into sterilized protective gear from head to toe, passing through high-pressure air showers to eliminate dust, disinfecting hands using UV light and medical-grade sanitizers. And it doesn't stop there. Air inside the facility is strictly controlled for temperature, humidity, and pressure to prevent bacteria, dust, and odors from spreading between zones. A standout feature of pork processing in South Korea is its strict adherence to humane slaughter practices, following standards set by the American Veterinary Medical Association. Instead of traditional direct slaughter, pigs are gently rendered unconscious using CO2 gas, causing them to lose awareness without pain or panic. From there, bloodletting and cleaning are carried out swiftly using specialized machinery. Thanks to cutting-edge technology, the entire slaughter process happens in an enclosed space, no splattered blood, no screams, and most importantly, the meat is kept hygienic from the very first second. After humane slaughter, the pork moves on to an automated conveyor system for processing. Industrial robot arms take over the initial butchering, separating carcasses into large sections such as half-cuts, shoulders, ribs, and hind legs. Every motion is driven by algorithms based on data like body weight and structure, ensuring perfect speed and accuracy every time. But what truly sets this factory apart isn't just the tech, it's the skilled hands of master butchers. Once the robots complete their rough cuts, human workers take over for fine butchering using traditional techniques, trimming fat, tendons, and skin with razor-sharp blades, slicing pork belly to reveal balanced, beautifully marbled strips, cutting shoulder meat to preserve every firm, intact fiber, categorizing rib cuts, jowl meat, ham, and more according to Korean culinary standards. Finally, the meat is immediately vacuum sealed and transferred into deep freeze storage before distribution. Just picture this: golden, sizzling pork belly on a grill, served with kimchi, fresh greens, garlic, Korean soybean paste, and a chilled glass of soju. That's the iconic samgyeopsal, loved by Koreans everywhere, anytime. Its overwhelming popularity has driven the pork processing industry forward, creating a lightning-fast, high-tech, and incredibly safe supply chain like never before. Delicious pork belly is not only due to the marinade, but also comes from a clear origin, a meticulous cutting process to keep the fat marbling beautiful, and is preserved in the most ideal conditions. You're probably familiar with modern, large-scale pig farms, where everything is controlled down to each square meter of pen space, right? But today, we're introducing a fascinating new approach: outdoor pig farming. Let's watch the video below to see how it compares to traditional indoor pig farming. What does an outdoor pig farm look like? As the pig industry faces growing challenges, environmental concerns, animal welfare, and stricter consumer demands, a quiet revolution is taking place: mobile pig farming. Unlike the cramped, antibiotic-heavy barns we're used to, this new model brings pigs back to nature, blending mobility and smart tech for a fresh leap in clean food production. For decades, industrial pig farming has dominated the global food scene. Thousands of pigs are raised in enclosed barns with strict controls on temperature, feed, and antibiotics to prevent disease and boost growth. But this model has major drawbacks. First, the environmental toll, especially methane emissions, contributes significantly to climate change. Then there's animal welfare. Pigs confined for life suffer from stress, limited movement, and higher disease risk. Lastly, consumer habits are shifting. Modern buyers, especially in big cities, now demand clean, antibiotic-free food with clear traceability and ethical standards. Facing this reality, the industry is seeking new paths built on sustainability and nature. And mobile pig farms are leading the way. One standout example is Folly Farms, a well-known outdoor pig farm in the UK. Instead of housing pigs indoors, they use mobile homes, small, movable pens. Each pig gets its own room on fields spanning dozens of hectares. This model blends outdoor farming with mobile infrastructure. Instead of fixed concrete barns, farmers use mobile shelters, often modified containers, truck beds, or modular pens on wheels, allowing rotation across fields and phases. First, they set up strong fencing to ensure safety while raising hundreds of pigs outdoors. Pigs roam freely on pasture, getting sun, air, and daily exercise. They root around, forage for worms, insects, grass, and roots, natural behaviors suppressed in confined systems. Pig waste spreads across the field, naturally enriching the soil and reducing pollution. This model not only supports the environment and animal welfare, it also produces clean, flavorful, antibiotic-free pork, which high-end markets crave. Each week, pens are moved to fresh grass using tractors, maintaining hygiene and preventing soil degradation. Pigs eat homegrown grains, vegetables, and whatever they find in the field. Notably, the entire process avoids antibiotics. Folly pork is now widely sold in Europe's premium supermarkets. Beyond clean standards, this model boosts local agricultural branding and product value. So, what are the real benefits of this unique system? It brings immense value to UK farmers, not just economically, but in animal welfare, sustainability, and meeting market demand. Free-range pork is prized for its quality. For eco-conscious consumers, it's the top choice. Farmers can sell pork at higher prices, boosting profits. Whether raised indoors or outdoors, pork remains a dietary staple, easy to cook, tasty, and rich in high-quality protein, vitamins, and essential minerals. A familiar and healthy food choice. In recent years, with the development of technology and the increasing demand for clean, safe, and sustainable food, the traditional livestock industry has begun to enter a strong transformation. Among them, duck farming. Today's duck farming industry is being redefined by closed factories and automatic systems. So, what is really going on behind this duck farming revolution? What has technology changed? And which model is leading the trend? Let's explore in the next part. Ducks are one of the most important poultry species in Asia, especially for egg production. In countries such as China, Thailand, and Indonesia, duck eggs, especially salted duck eggs or century eggs, are not only an ingredient in traditional cuisine but also a valuable export item. However, for a long time, the duck farming industry has been neglected, lacking planning, mainly relying on folk experience and greatly influenced by natural conditions. And as the world's largest producer of duck eggs, China has invested heavily in high technology to modernize its duck farming industry. They have built closed duck farms with automatic operations. Temperature, humidity, and light in the barns are all strictly controlled through sensor systems and AI. Ducks are fed using a fully automated system, which significantly reduces manual labor and precisely controls the amount of feed to optimize health and egg-laying productivity. Many farms are now using artificial intelligence and big data to monitor the health and behavior of individual ducks. Each duck can be microchipped or monitored by an AI camera, which collects data on egg production, diet, activity levels, and abnormalities. The system automatically issues alerts when signs of illness or reduced productivity are detected, helping the farm owner take timely action. This real-time data-driven duck flock management model not only optimizes productivity but also reduces the risk of disease spreading, one of the biggest problems in modern farming. Not stopping there, the automatic egg processing line is also applied. Eggs will be identified through sensors, then gently brought to the sorting, cleaning, and packaging area. Each stage can process thousands of eggs per day, with an extremely low breakage rate, just under 1%. This helps reduce losses, increase productivity, and ensure consistent output quality, a huge step forward compared to the traditional manual egg collection method. Improving duck farming towards modernization and automation is not only economically beneficial, but also a big step forward in the journey towards global sustainability goals. Traditional farming causes many environmental consequences such as water pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, and widespread use of antibiotics. From another perspective, while China is leading the way in closed-loop duck farming technology, Southeast Asian countries are moving towards developing large-scale free-range duck farming models, combining tradition and technology. Cooperatives support farmers in purchasing, sorting, and exporting duck eggs. As a result, productivity increases by 30 to 40%, egg quality is consistently controlled, and the environment is better protected. Unlike raising ducks in cages, harvesting eggs in the open field model requires a lot of skills. Farmers often herd ducks back to the cage in the evening. Ducks will lay eggs at night or early in the morning. To avoid egg loss, many farms use plastic nets or wooden floors to gather the ducks to lay eggs, then collect the eggs manually. Although not fully automated like in factories, this model is gradually modernizing, helping farmers save time, ensure quality, and increase productivity. It is worth mentioning that eggs from the field model are often favored by the market because of their rich yolks, aroma, and high nutritional content. This is a significant competitive advantage in the context of consumers increasingly interested in clean, naturally sourced foods. Revolutionizing duck farming does not mean abolishing traditional methods, but upgrading and adapting to the new era. Technology helps farmers reduce burdens, optimize costs, and expand markets. At the same time, it also helps consumers feel more secure with each egg they put in their daily meals. While many still consider rats to be pests, in Thailand, some farmers have turned them into a steady source of income. In particular, in the northeast of Thailand, rat farms are thriving, supplying hundreds of thousands of rats each month to the consumer market. Join us as we break into one of the largest rat farms in Asia, to explore every corner, every process, and the secrets that have never been revealed. Inside the farm, rats are raised in separate, clean, and drained cement tanks. There are more than 4,000 cages, each containing 6 to 12 rats. The total population at the time of our visit was nearly 300,000 rats, not counting the newborn rats born every day. The cost of raising each mouse is around $2, but the selling price is up to $7 to $8 per kg, while breeding mice can be sold for $22 per pair. Just doing a simple calculation shows the attractive profits that the mouse farming industry brings. The mouse farming process at Callison Farm is operated in a closed system, strictly following hygiene and disease control standards. Everything starts with the selection of breeds. Parent mice are carefully selected based on the criteria: healthy, fast-growing, good reproduction and ability to adapt to the captive environment. They are raised in separate cages, called breeding areas, to ensure biosecurity and easy monitoring of the life cycle. After the mother mouse gives birth, the entire litter will be raised with her mother for the first 3 weeks with breast milk. When they reach the age of separation from the herd, the mice are transferred to the fattening area. This is the time when the mice grow fastest. They are fed twice a day with a food mixture including rice bran, ground corn, fish meal, and some herbs to help increase resistance and limit body odor. The water source used is filtered water, treated with UV rays to ensure purity. Each breeding area is equipped with an automatic ventilation system, day-night cycle lighting, and a high-capacity deodorizer to keep the cage environment clean, minimizing bacterial growth. Technical staff check the mice daily, record growth, and promptly handle sick or weak cases. Some culled mice will be separated so as not to affect the general herd. After 6-8 weeks of age, mice will reach a weight of 200-350 grams, meeting the standards for export. Depending on the purpose of use, they are classified into 3 groups: live mice, frozen mice, and experimental mice. Individuals that meet the standards will be transferred to the humane slaughter area, using CO2 gas to anesthetize to avoid pain, then pre-processed, packaged, and refrigerated. The entire process is controlled by a digital management system, from the number of mice, breeding time, growth weight, to environmental temperature. This is a modern agricultural model, combining technology and local experience, producing hundreds of thousands of mice per month while ensuring safety, cleanliness, and sustainability. In Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, rats are a delicacy. High-end restaurants in Bangkok and Chiang Mai are willing to pay a lot of money to have clean rats with food safety certification. In addition, snake farms, owl farms, dragonfish farms all need a large amount of live or frozen rats every month. This is a stable market and is growing rapidly thanks to the exotic pet raising movement. A small part of the farm's rats are provided to medical facilities, labs, and universities for use as laboratory rats serving medicine, drug, and vaccine research. However, the development of the rat farming industry has not been entirely smooth. Many people still hold the prejudice that rats are dirty, carry diseases, and should not be eaten. To change this perception, farms must demonstrate clean breeding processes, strict disease management, and ensure food hygiene. In addition, they also have to lobby local authorities for licensing, legal support, and communications so that the model can be replicated in an official manner. Not only in Thailand, the rat farming model is also developed in other Southeast Asian countries such as Cambodia and Laos. In Cambodia, some farmers in Battambang province have switched from raising pigs and cows to raising rats because of lower costs and faster capital turnover. Once labeled as crop destroyers, these animals have now become million-dollar assets. From untamed jungles to high-tech farms across Southeast Asia, wild boars are being domesticated and turned into a bold new path in agriculture. In today's video, we'll dive into a model that's leaving the global farming world astonished: the multi-million-dollar wild boar farms of Southeast Asia. How do they actually work? In many Western countries, wild boars are seen as dangerous pests. They destroy crops, cause traffic accidents, and spread diseases to livestock. In the US alone, the economic damage caused by wild boars is estimated at $2.5 billion per year. But in Southeast Asia, where the cuisine, soil conditions, and ecosystems are more compatible, people have discovered a different kind of value. Wild boars can become a high-value livestock if managed properly. By crossbreeding wild boars with domestic pigs, farmers have developed hybrid wild boars that retain the firm, flavorful meat of their wild ancestors but are easier to raise, more disease-resistant, and reproduce more consistently. This has become a major turning point, making wild boar farming economically viable. With meat prices twice as high as conventional pork, and breeders selling for hundreds of dollars per pig, this model creates steady revenue from both meat and breeding stock. As of 2024, the commercial wild boar meat output in Southeast Asia is estimated at 50,000 to 70,000 tons per year, with average prices ranging from $7 to $12 per kilogram. This translates to an industry-wide annual revenue of $400, $800 million, factoring in commercial meat, breeding pigs, value-added processed products, and agricultural byproducts. Wild boar farming in Southeast Asia has moved far beyond traditional methods. It now combines semi-wild, controlled environments with modern technology to ensure productivity and biosecurity. Typically, farms are divided into multiple zones: a free-range area for natural movement and development, a separate breeding zone for genetic safety and control, a recovery and care section with automated temperature and humidity systems. Feed consists mainly of natural ingredients, using locally sourced crops or agricultural waste like corn and vegetables, supplemented with minerals and plant-based proteins. Herd management systems are becoming increasingly advanced, utilizing traceability software and individual health monitoring sensors. Each pig is tagged, making it easy to track, identify, and manage with precision. The flavor of wild boar meat is one of the main reasons for its rising popularity, especially in upscale restaurants and clean food markets. Compared to regular pork, wild boar meat has a richer taste, with a firm but tender texture. When cooked, it retains its sweetness and a signature aroma. Not only is it delicious, but it's also high in bioavailable protein, low in cholesterol, contains less white fat, and is rich in zinc and B vitamins. It's forecasted that by 2030, demand for premium and organic pork in Asia will double. As more consumers care about food origin and healthy diets, wild boar meat, with its lean profile, rich flavor, and high nutritional value, will gain even more traction. However, challenges remain: disease risks, particularly African swine fever, legal hurdles regarding hybrid breeds, price competition from cheap imported meat. But with strategic investment and the right market positioning, wild boars have the potential to become a cornerstone industry in Southeast Asian agriculture in the coming years.